What is going on, guys? We are going to be doing the habit method today, the most effective way to build simplified, digestible, long-lasting habits around your health and fitness, your nutrition, your workouts, especially for the busy moms, the busy parents, the busy people, and the people pleasers that are listening to this is going to be for you, and all the different principles, the mindset shifts, and let's just dive right into it. And I apologize for anybody that was waiting for it at 5 o'clock. We had some technical issues, so we started a little bit just a few minutes later than expected. But yeah, let's dive right into it. So let me just pull up my slides here. Alrighty, you should see this on your guys' end. So the Hanson Health Habit Method. And we're ready to finally stop yo-yoing and create a sustainable, healthy lifestyle change, then you're in the right place. Especially when it comes to like simplified, digestible strategies that aren't going to be too overwhelming with a crazy busy schedule and with kids at home. And if you're watching this as a recording, make sure to comment recording if you're watching this as a recording. And you see, I've worked with hundreds of parents, hundreds of moms, hundreds of women just like you, and if you're just like the clients that we've helped, you've been spinning your wheels, struggling to create consistency around your health and fitness. You're super tough on yourself, or your own expectations cause you to feel like a failure and you just fall off track and you just get your hopes up. Maybe you try and show up way too strong for too long and you burn yourself out and you're super overextended, showing up for everybody else or prioritizing yourself seems impossible, and you just put your own needs on the back burner, and then that creates a bunch of more yo-yoing and inconsistency, and you feel like you've lost yourself because it's been so long since you've had your health and fitness on track. Maybe you get a couple of weeks good, maybe you get a solid month going, but then like stuff with the kids, with your work, other responsibilities come up, and it just throws you off track. And this goes much deeper than just like losing weight and having the right strategy. If you don't fix the problem now, you'll get further down the dark rabbit hole, feeling even worse. And how's it going to affect your kids? How are you going to show up for everybody else? And what are the potential health risks and future costs of you not getting this area down? And here's what I don't want for you. I don't want you to completely fall off or you start to gain more weight. You have aches and pains all over your body where you can't even function when you get older and like you break a hip just by doing basic functional stuff. And when it starts to cause your kids and family to adopt your habits and start to move in the same direction that you've been stuck at for years, and none of your clothes are fitting anymore. And that's why the Hanson Health method is so freaking effective. Hi, I'm Alex Hanson. I've been training myself for 8 years and helping over 450 plus people with their health and fitness in 4.5 years. We actually just surpassed 500. I need to go and update this. And in that time, I've helped 20 people lose 50 plus pounds, over 100 people lose 30 plus pounds, and 200 people lose 20 plus pounds and keep it off. I've also been certified through CanFit Pro as a personal training specialist. I'm a nutrition expert, as well as working with high-level fitness coaches and IFBB pro bodybuilders to grow and learn the science behind weight loss and health. I've personally lost 55 pounds to compete in a bodybuilding show, getting lower than 5% body fat, getting second in my first competition. One place to get away from getting my pro card. We're getting it next time. We're going after it this next year, actually. I'm actually on the process of prepping for that right now. And I've helped hundreds of parents like you reclaim their strength and vitality. And I'm helping you do the same things that I've done with my clients. I'm going to share with you the habit mastery secrets our clients and myself have used. And at the end, I promise I won't just throw all this information at you and leave you with your own devices. For those of you with questions or who maybe want some additional support, I'll share with you on how at Hanson Health, we can help you execute and creating a permanent lifestyle change around your weight loss, health, fitness, muscle building, sculpting a physique that you want, and just creating a sustainable, healthy lifestyle for you and your family. So let's get into it. I want to show you the habit method. This methodology is designed specifically to avoid overwhelm, creating consistency when you get curveballs, and effectively building a lifestyle change around how you look and perform with your health and fitness. So we're going to dive into sustainable systems first. And before we dive into like all those other ones, firstly, we want to establish your powerful why and visualize it daily. So why is visualizing your why daily super, super important? Because you're gonna like the thing is people constantly come to me telling me, Alex, I'm not motivated. I just can't get myself to go and work out. And usually this is because of a lack of having a powerful mission and vision on what you want to create for yourself and your family. So being able to get clear on exactly what that powerful why is for you. Personally, for me, I struggle with depression my entire life, and I've even had like suicidal ideations, and I've gotten to some really dark places where I wasn't even sure if I was going to come out of it. So being able to just feel good about myself, not going back to that dark place, and just being able to show up strong for all the people that were important to me and my priorities, that was probably the biggest motivating factor that pushed me to show up and create that motivation wasn't and when it wasn't there, but also just having a greater reason that was going to outweigh me not feeling like doing it and just pushing myself just to take even small steps over no steps. And I've had other clients where they just want to break that generational curse. They've seen like their family members go through like obesity or alcoholism or like really bad habits, and they see their whole family going through this where they have a bad quality of life, they die really early, they have heart issues, they get like anything along those lines, or maybe they get diabetes, for example, and all the different things that come with that. And they just want to break that and show their family, their kids, a healthier way of living and just break that curse. So get clear on what that is for you. Because the more that you can create clarity around this, the more it's going to create motivation. And I would visualize it daily. With all of our clients, we have something that we call the successful morning routine. So seek water, seek sunlight, seek activity, and reviewing your goals. Because your day sets the tone for the rest of the day. Like a lot of people are like, oh, I've seen these gurus and people online, and like the morning routines is like, oh, I just have to do the thing. Obviously, doing the thing will get you the results, but helping you do the thing, staying motivated, setting the tone for the day, putting you into a state where you're willing to take action, where you're energized or motivated, and it pushes you and honestly removes the resistance of wanting to go and do the thing and do those things that you need to do. And seeking water, so just hydrating, like you're dehydrated when you wake up first thing in the morning, like you're sleeping in bed for 8 hours. So just drinking enough water, not only is it going to help with your energy levels, actually boost your metabolism up to about 25%. You just burn more calories throughout the day. It's going to fill up your stomach more. A lot of the time, we're not just hungry, we're thirsty. So, especially if you're looking to lose weight, that's definitely going to really help with that. But also, just being nice and hydrated first thing in the morning is going to make a really big difference. Like, I'd say 16 to 30 ounces of water in the morning. So, seek water, seek sunlight. So if you are not in a super dark place, like I'm in, going outside and just getting some like actual vitamin D, like it's an antidepressant, it's actually going to help with your circadian rhythm. So it's going to help you get to sleep and get a better quality of sleep. And also just getting some fresh air, like it's just gonna really wake you up and just get you going. So like if you live in a dark place like where I live, I would just go outside and get some fresh air at least and seek activity. So like either like going for like a walk, doing a quick workout. Like I'd even like highly recommend like doing like a workout first thing in the morning. Like especially if you're a mom, you're a parent, like you have a lot of responsibilities that come the later that you go on throughout the day, or like that decision fatigue and this it's like this daunting thing of like how am I gonna get this in? Doing the workout first thing in the morning because it's gonna set the tone for the day. You've been sedentary for 8 hours, so just getting the blood flowing and like getting your body awake, it's gonna help remove that brain fog and wake you up so much quicker. So you're gonna have mental clarity, you're gonna be sharper going into work, helping your kids, all the things that are super important to you because you're gonna have that energy and that bandwidth to be able to go and do those things. So definitely recommend doing those things, but the point that I want to make is reviewing your goals. Like I constantly tell everybody to review their goals because I had a client that was with me for 2.5 years and she ended up having a schedule change that completely threw off her schedule. She was working at a different time. Her morning routine got thrown off. And all of a sudden she was like getting bored. She wasn't motivated. She wasn't working out as consistently. Her nutrition was all over the place. And we just broke it all down and like reverse engineered it where I'm like, what is happening here? Like, like it's obviously like a little bit of a schedule change can throw things off, but I'm like, what are you doing in the morning that you're not doing now? So it was just the fact that she wasn't visualizing her goal. She wasn't clear on that goalpost. She wasn't clear on like why she was doing these workouts and like meal prepping and doing all these things and where it was bringing her to. Because like those are all a vehicle to get you to that vision that you want to create for yourself that gets you freaking excited. Like start to think about a little bit outside the box. Like how are you gonna feel every day? How's it gonna feel like putting that like tight shirt on and like it's fitting tight and loose in all the right places when you go to that trip to Mexico wearing that two-piece, turning people's heads and feeling super confident how you're holding yourself. Anything that gets you freaking excited and visualizing it. Like say it out loud, write it down. Like actually have like a vision board that you can like look at and see something. Or maybe even have like a physique that like maybe you were in like college and you want to look very similar to that, or maybe you have like an influencer that you like that you really want to have a physique like that. I would have that and like go over that every single day and like intentionally do it. Don't just walk past the vision board. Don't just think about it here and there. Have like a dedicated practice of like 5 minutes in the morning or even like a couple of minutes of like writing it down, saying it out loud, and visualizing it. And that will actually create motivation to make it easier to take action. Because mindset is a massive, massive part, and like that, these are where we're gonna, a lot of that's what we're gonna be talking about today. Because you can find all the information online around workouts and nutrition, but if you don't have the right mindset to implement it on a consistent and sustainable basis, it's just a matter of time until you fall off track. So yeah, let's go back into this. So that would be the first step, get clear on what that why is, and the morning routine system. So like I would say like morning routine, again, like I kind of touched on this a little bit already, but like hydration, starting off, doing like a quick workout, having like a healthy breakfast, like maybe having like some fiber, some protein, having some healthy fats to fuel your day. Like don't just have like some simple carbs or having like a muffin or like some bread, because that's going to give you more simple carbs, which is your body's going to burn it super quickly, which is glucose, which is why a lot of people just crash in the middle of the day. Whereas if you have things like fiber or you have like complex carbs of some kind, like potatoes or like rolled oats, for example, that's actually going to fill up your stomach more and have less calories. And it's also going to give you more long-lasting energy throughout the day because instead of glucose, it produces something called glycogen, where it actually creates more of a chain of energy that lasts longer throughout the day. So that'll actually help with you just having more energy and bandwidth to be able to go do the things that you need to do throughout the day. But also because you start that day off with a protein and like fiber and healthy fats, that's going to help you stay more satiated to be less likely to get more snacky and like also get like your like those insulin crashes or not insulin like your blood sugar crashing in the middle of the day and then like having more insulin resistance. That's definitely not going to help with cravings. So like the more that you can get this down, the more that's going to help with that. And let's see here. So a meal planning and preparation system. So a weekly meal plan. So spending time like weekly planning meals that are nutritious, easy to prepare, a comprehensive grocery list based on the meal plan to avoid last minute unhealthy choices, and making sure you're setting time aside to batch cook and prep ingredients, making it easier to assemble meals during the week. And like even preparing like healthy snacks, so preparing and portioning healthy snacks to have on hand, reducing the temptation of unhealthy options. Like with this one, I would say like the best way to like implement this is definitely make it so it's not super overwhelming. Like if you don't already have a schedule, I would recommend getting a schedule, like a Google Calendar. If you have like a planner, something you put on the fridge where you like plan all your stuff out for the week, you have like a written planner, have it in there as a non-negotiable appointment, like almost as if it was a doctor's appointment, because you're going to treat that as something that's going to be super important because you're setting future you up for success. Or like you're gonna have everything ready to go. You're not having to put that additional bandwidth and time into like getting all those meals ready to go. And you're just making the healthier food more convenient. Because the thing is, we don't want to have bad food or have these like processed, ultra processed, like not super, like more calorically dense foods. It's because they're easier, they're more convenient. So if you actually put the time, the focus, the energy into like meal prepping and getting all that stuff ready, the likelihood of you following it goes up significantly. And like you already like invested part of like your day into that. So like it's one of those things where it's like, man, like I already did this. Like it's not worth it for me to go and order food. Like even if something's a little bit easier and it's more convenient, if you already put that effort in and you already invested yourself into it, like there's like you already have skin in the game. Like even if you're not like and you like you spent money on those groceries as well too, so you actually have skin in the game as well. I would also recommend like as a system, like try and make the convenient, processed, not super great foods that or not even like I wouldn't say like not super great foods, but things that just aren't going to fill you up a whole lot that have more calories, like processed things. I put them in like a dark cabinet somewhere so you can't visually see them, and then get all your like your veggies, your meats, your fruit like cut up in like clear containers. So as soon as you open up your fridge, it's like the first thing that you see. It's going to make a huge difference. Oh yeah, here's so boundaries and the people that you surround yourself with. So like people don't understand that like when it comes to habits, like it's not just a matter of just doing it consistently. Like obviously that's a huge piece of it. But if you're not setting the right boundaries in place, like you're a people pleaser, you're a mom, you're a dad, like you're a parent, you're just overextending yourself all the time, and you're putting your own needs last, setting very clear boundaries and having clarity of like what are my values, what are the things that are serving me and serving my family, And what are the things that aren't serving me? Like, what are the things that I'm going to clearly say no to? Where, for example, people are inviting you out for drinks or out for food, and it's like, how many times am I going to allow myself to do that? Like maybe once a month or something like that, and like every other time I'm going to say no. Like every other time is, or it's like maybe it's only on like holidays. Like I only used to drink on Christmas and my birthday. I don't even drink anymore because it kind of just got to the point where I don't even do that anymore because like it's just not something that really serves me anymore. Those people that I was surrounding myself with, I don't even really talk to them that much anymore. At the time, it felt like it was like I was going to have this huge loss of all these great friends and all these like great relationships that I had. When in reality, like my relationship pretty much consisted of partying with them and like going out for drinks and like unhealthy habits. And we just all related and we just did those things together. And because us as humans, we like to be part of a tribe. Well, we like to be part of like other people doing similar things. And if we're surrounding ourselves with people that aren't really active, they're not really taking care of themselves, they're maybe pessimistic, they're like going out for drinks and food all the time, they're complaining and they're not taking any ownership of their decisions and they're kind of just settling in life, you're the average of the top 5 people you spend the most time with. So like being very careful who you're actually dedicating your time with will make a massive difference, but also just setting boundaries. Where like you tell your kids, you tell your partner, like this is the time that I need and the not non-negotiable time that I'm gonna need to prep to make sure I get my workouts in so I can fill my cup and I'm not just pouring from an empty cup all the time. And like this is a necessity so I can show up stronger for all these other things. And everybody's gonna understand. Like the only person that's going to feel weird about it is mostly gonna be yourself. There's going to be maybe a couple of instances where people are a little bit uncomfortable just because it's not your regular behavior, but they're going to understand if you explain it to them and involve them. I've had tons of clients where they come to me and they're like, oh, I'm going to step on people's toes. People aren't going to like me. Then they just explain it to them and involve them in it, and they rip that band-aid off, and they ended up actually holding them accountable to it. Where they would be like, hey, like weren't you like aren't you on like a weight loss journey? Like maybe we should go to a different restaurant, or maybe like we can go to this place, or we can go for a walk instead of going out for food, or like something along those lines. Where I even had a client where her mom would call her up and be like, hey, we have this event next weekend. Here's the food that's gonna be there. We got you some healthy snacks, and I could actually help her plan it in before she even got there, instead of just kind of going in there blind, hoping things were gonna work out, and just creating a better system around it. So having boundaries will make it easier to implement habits because you're going to have non-negotiable time for it. You're going to communicate with other people, which is going to help with accountability. And then also like people you're surrounding yourself with, if they're healthier people, like try and get people like those people that you know from like school maybe, or somebody that maybe you've met before that like goes for runs, they're really active. Connect with that person. Like it's always fun to meet new and exciting like-minded people that are going to help influence you to like have those healthier habits in your life. But yeah, just wanted to throw that out there. Boundaries are a super, super big one. Like make sure that you are prioritizing yourself because you cannot pour from an empty cup. You need to be able to show up strong for yourself so you need to show up strong internally so you can show up strong externally. All right. Habit stacking. So this is another one where habit stacking, this is where you basically are very clear on when you're going to do something after an existing habit that you already have established. Where it's like, okay, right after I wake up first thing in the morning, after I go to the bathroom, I'm going to go and weigh myself. Like something along those lines. Where it's like right after I do this thing, I'm going to do another thing. So like a lot of our habits are chains. They trigger other habits. And we wonder why it's difficult to be able to have habits on vacation because we're in a completely different routine. We don't have the coffee maker in the same place and all the other things that are triggering other habits. Notice that whenever you do dishes, it's because you see a bunch of dishes piled up and you're like, I need to do the dishes. That's also why I mentioned to people to have a schedule where you actually have time dedicated, having like appointments for like workouts, for self-care, for date nights, for fun things. Like I wouldn't even say just for like your health and fitness, but like actually having like a Google Calendar or something like that where it's like reoccurring. So you're not having to go into like a manual planner and like write it down every single week, or have to go into your whiteboard and like go and write it down every single time. We actually have like a Google Calendar that reminds you to do it. So like that's something I highly recommend. Maybe it's not 100% for everybody. Maybe you have a reminder on your phone that goes off consistently. But like another way is like habit stacking, where it's like, okay, right after I take my lunch, I'm gonna go and do some body weight squats. I'm gonna do a 10-minute workout. Or Sunday, after I have my morning coffee, read the paper, I'm gonna go to the grocery store and I'm gonna meal prep for the rest of the week. Right after, like I'm gonna wake up at 8 a.m., I'm gonna have my coffee and read the paper at 8:30. I'm gonna go start the car and I'm gonna go get ready and like prep for the week. And be very 100% clear in like what time, what place, when you're gonna be doing it. Because if it's just up in the air, well, I'm gonna do it sometime on Sunday. the statistics of the different studies when it comes to implementing habits, the more vague and just not really 100% sure when you're going to do it, the less likely that you're actually going to do it. From the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, he actually has a study specifically in there. We had a client that wanted to go do a push-up challenge during his lunch break or his lunch hour, which was a full hour. He could do it right after he took his lunch break. He could do it after he had his lunch. He could do it right before he was done his lunch or in the middle of his lunch break. There's so many ways that he could approach it. And that ended up just creating paralysis by analysis, where he ended up just doing other things and not ended up following through with it. Whereas when he was like, okay, right after I take my lunch break at 12:05, I'm going to go into the corner in the lunchroom, knew exactly what place he was going to do it. I'm going to do the push-up challenge, then I'm going to go have my lunch afterwards. And that automatically got him to take action. Where it's like, if you're just like, I'm going to do a workout tomorrow versus like, I'm going to do it as soon as I wake up in the morning. I'm going to lay my workout clothes out the night before, make sure I'm like ready to go. Everything's already set up, have my workout space ready to go. I'm going to go crush a glass of water, maybe have some pre-workout or something, or take my supplements. Then I'm going to go do my workout. The more that you can be clear on exactly what time and what place that you're going to be doing things and attaching it to an existing habit makes it easier to implement. And you want to set weekly standards and goals. So if you're just going into where I'm going to try and get some workouts in this week, or I'm going to try and hit my nutrition, where it's like instead you should have a standard of like this is the bare minimum that I need to hit. And don't make it a minimum that's like not achievable where you're treating the goal as the standard. Like you want to have a goal that you want to strive for, but you don't want to make that the standard. Because a lot of people go into it with false expectations of like, I'm gonna crush 5, 6 workouts a week. I'm gonna go work out every day. Or like I'm gonna prep the entire week and do all these things. That's the goal. That's the point that you want to get to. But what's gonna help develop consistency in a way that's gonna be more digestible and easier to take action on, where what's the minimum? Like, is it hitting like 4 workouts a week for like 20 minutes, 10 minutes? Like whatever that bare minimum is, where it's like, yeah, of course I can do that. Don't go into it where it's like, man, I don't know if that's going to be possible. Like, that sounds like way too much. Like, I don't know if I can do a 45-minute workout 5 times a week. Okay, start off small and you can raise those standards as you go throughout it, but consistency and habits are the name of the game. You can't build or optimize on a habit that's not even established yet. You need to establish the habit first before you can build on it. You don't brush your teeth for 30 or 60 minutes to do it on a consistent basis. You do it for 2 or 3 minutes. You do it like a 5 or 10 minute workout and you do that 4 times a week, 5 times a week. You do that consistently, it's going to lead to you being able to do more higher intensity, better workouts in the future because you have that momentum and you're getting those routines down. And if you get clear on what that standard is, where you can have standard over schedule, where regardless of what your schedule looks like, you're going to hit that standard. Like, let's say you have to hit 4 workouts in the week. You get to Thursday and you've done no workouts. You're doing a workout Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, even if it's 10 minutes, because you're committing to the standard. It's like how your job has a standard of like what you need to complete of like the bare minimum. You need to have your own personal standard that you're going to commit to. And if you don't follow through with that standard, like you're going to lose a little bit of trust and respect for yourself. So that's why it's important to make sure it's digestible and it's actionable and it's not too overwhelming. Then you have a goal that like is doable, that's realistic, that you can actually strive for. Don't try and like make it like this absurd goal. Like maybe like make the goal just a bit above the standard so it's also achievable. And then you can start to slowly increase the standard and the goal as you start to build more confidence and momentum. I hope this is making sense to everybody. And make it easy. So the right mindset to have. So like I just mentioned, like you want to make sure that you're focusing on incremental steps, like baby steps over no steps. So doing a 5 minute workout instead of a 20-minute workout. Doing like a 20-minute workout instead of a 60-minute workout. If you want to prep your nutrition and like prepping for the entire week is like, holy shit, how am I going to prep this entire week? Maybe you prep like for a few days. Maybe you prep for a day or two. Maybe you just cut up some veggies and like cook some meat and like have some like ingredients ready to go that you can incorporate into other recipes throughout the week. And then as you start to get better at it and you start to find a better system around it, then you can start to prep a little bit more for the week. Or maybe you have like 2 different prepping days and you like test it out a little bit where I'm going to prep all the way until Wednesday or Thursday. Then I can prep for the weekend when I have a better understanding of like what my weekend plans are going to look like. So then I can actually plan for it and I can actually have everything prepped out going into the weekend, like something along those lines. But me just starting like bare minimum of like, I'm just going to prep for a couple of days, cut up some veggies, cut up some fruit, get the groceries, cook up a little bit of meat, and then you just start doing a little bit better every single time that you prep. And try and get things that are easy. Try and get like like an air fryer, try and get like a slow cooker, get things that are like appliances and things that are actually going to help make the process easier as well. So the 1% better model. So this is where you're going to focus on incremental changes. 1% better every single day, where you're only going to focus on just doing a little bit better than when you first started. Like you might want to just like if you feel like just getting yourself to do even a 20-minute workout feels like too much, start off with 10 minutes. And then if you can do a little bit more, perfect. Like focus on like that's kind of like when you go into a weekend. Like your Monday to Friday, you might be crushing it Monday to Friday, but you go into the weekend and you're trying to hit it the same way that you hit Monday to Friday. You have no structure, you have no schedule in place, you don't have like your 9 to 5 job that's keeping everything structured. Like maybe you just focus on just doing a little bit better. We're like, okay, I'm gonna try and wake up early on the weekend, or I'm gonna try and have like a little bit of more protein stuff, like readily available and prepped a little bit going into the weekend. Or I'm gonna try and do like some light activity going into the weekend. Like just like things like that. Like it's also going like on a vacation, for example, where it's like you definitely shouldn't expect to be hitting the same way that you will when you're on your regular routine. You're motivated, everything's going super well. You almost need to treat it like it's a brand new habit of like, okay, I'm just gonna like track my food and try and prioritize protein, and I'm just gonna focus on just that. And if I can do some small workouts, even better. But like just doing that alone would be a huge win. Then the next vacation, you can focus on just like hitting your protein. And instead of tracking for the most part, you track everything. And then maybe you focus on instead of doing no workouts, you do a 5 or 10 minute workout. Like it's like, what are the most incremental increases that aren't going to feel like it's like this daunting thing where it feels doable? Like it's like, yeah, of course I can do that. And like the more that you can break it down just to focus on the consistency and just showing up, the more momentum and the long-term success that you're going to create. So the 2 minute rule. This is basically like I was mentioning with like you don't brush your teeth for 30 or 60 minutes on a consistent basis. You do it for 2 or 3 minutes. You can work out for 2 minutes. Like I actually had a client, her name's Sophie, and she was inconsistent with her workouts all over the place. Like her nutrition was great. That wasn't a problem for her. But her workouts, she work out once one week, 5 the next week, 3 the next week, 0 the next week. And it's because she was trying to show up 100% and do her full workout, which felt like it was this daunting thing when she got stressed out. Other life curveballs were like getting thrown her way. She gets sick and she just didn't feel 100% to go do that workout. Or I'm like, if you just go to the gym or you just focus on doing like a body weight workout at home that's like 5 minutes and you just walk into the gym and hop on the treadmill for a couple of minutes, that's one step closer to you building a routine and building a habit where it's going to actually allow you to have momentum going into the next day when you're feeling better. Whereas if you just stop completely and you just completely opt out of it, where it's like, okay, I'm going to do it tomorrow, I'll get back on it next week, it creates resistance. The momentum stops. And the longer that you don't do it at all for, the more difficult that it is to take action. So even just small steps of just showing up will build momentum and maintain that momentum to make it easier to continue to show up. And now, at this point, Sophie has been consistent with all of her workouts for like 4 to 6 days a week, where it's actually closer to 5 to 6 days a week now at this point for like the last 8 or 9 months. And like that was just from that one mindset shift. And you can apply that with anything, like your nutrition, your workouts, your morning routine, all that kind of stuff. How to build habits around your vacation, the weekend, and during stressful times. So it's kind of like I mentioned before. You want to treat it like you're treating it like you're starting the habit all over again. Or like maybe on the weekends you focus on getting up at the same time that you do Monday to Friday, so you can like have the same sleep schedule. You don't feel groggy because you slept in too long, and like you focus on getting like a little bit of a workout in first thing in the morning to like set the tone for the day. And maybe like making sure like you're prepped going into it, or like with the vacation, focusing on just those bare minimum steps that I was mentioning, incrementally increasing what you're doing. So that way it doesn't feel too daunting and overwhelming going into it. And designing your environment for success. So kitchen organization, so like just arranging your kitchen so that healthy foods are easily accessible, preparing healthy snacks, maybe get like a recipe card. Like we also have like if you actually comment recipe, I can send you our family friendly recipe guide that has a ton of high protein recipes that even your kids are gonna love. Have like a water reminder app on your phone that'll actually remind you to drink water. Maybe even have like a water bottle that has like a bunch of different marks on it that'll actually tell you how much water that you drank throughout the day. Get like a meal prep station so you actually have like a dedicated area to do your meal prep so it's not like a just cluttered space. Laying out like your workout clothes out the night before. So that way you're removing an additional step. So when you wake up in the morning, you can just dive right into your workouts. I even have some clients where they put their workout clothes on the night before so they wake up in their workout clothes. Using a schedule, like a calendar, like I was mentioning before, where you actually set appointments for yourself and having a dedicated workout space at home. Like if you're trying to work out from home and you're a mom and you have like you can see the dishes, you can see the laundry, you can see like when you have a dedicated workout space at home, it removes so much resistance because you have a dedicated space for it. Like you shouldn't be able to see the dishes and see the laundry and like see all these distractions, see the TV. And like it almost just makes you not focused where you don't even really feel motivated to do it. You're like, man, I should go do those dishes or like I should go and do that. And it's triggering other habits. Like I was mentioning earlier in this call, our habits are triggered by visual cues. So if you can remove those visual cues and have a dedicated workout space or have some motivational posters, put your vision board up there, have your workout stuff in there. Put a curtain that closes that just like if you don't have an actual room, you like get a curtain that shuts you off from the other parts of your house so that way you have a dedicated space for it. I had a client that was struggling to get her workouts in because like her dogs were around, like she could see her dishes. It was like in the middle of her living room where she could see the TV, and it just made it so difficult to take action. Where as soon as she made a dedicated workout space, she created way more consistency afterwards. And like incorporating movement, so like having a standing desk, get like a little treadmill under your desk, get an exercise ball chair, and like setting like visible reminder, so like a sticky note with a motivational message around like your weight loss goals, having like the vision board that I was mentioning, and tracking your progress. So like use a visual chart or like an app, like within our Hanson Health app that we have for our clients, we have them measure their inches, their progress pictures, their weight. Because the more focus that you put into it, the more energy that you're going to put into it. Where focus goes, energy flows. And keep your scale in like a visible place. Like people that actually weigh themselves more often pay more attention to it and get better results. And just remember when you're losing body fat, like you're also going to lose inches. Like sometimes the scale's not going to move and that's okay. But because you're weighing yourself more often, you'll actually pay more attention to it. So you've seen some of the testimonials on this page, and you know that the transformation you're looking for really is possible. People who are exactly where you're sitting have broken through and gotten results. Like, for example, Tara here, or Heather, or if you go through all the different testimonials, all the different pictures that we have on our page, I can send you videos of actually specifically Tara and Heather, or like any of the other testimonials that we have. I told you at the beginning of the call that if you needed more help, I would show you what to do. And you don't need me. You have the option to take what you learned, you've seen the system, you got the information now, you can apply it yourself and you can go faster. And here's how to go faster. And I want to help you go faster. I've set aside time the rest of this week and a bit of next week with myself on my calendar, and we'd love to offer you a free strategy session. So here's what you're gonna get together on our call. Set goals for the next 6 months so you're clear on where you want to go. Ask yourself right now, like where do you want to be 6 months from now? If you've been just living day to day hoping it's gonna work out, it's not going to. Like you can't do the same thing over and over again, expect a different result. And we'll uncover the roadblocks they're getting in the way of you unleashing your best, most confident self so you can get clear on exactly what you need to do to achieve your goals. Plus, set up a 16-week roadmap for implementing the Hanson Health Habit Method that I just showed you. And I've only got so much time on my calendar, so if this is something you think that could help you, sign up now. Comment me in the comments, and I'll send you a link to book a strategy call with me. And worst case scenario, like you're just gonna walk away with a clear game plan on exactly how you can take action for you and your lifestyle. Hope you guys love this training. Like there's a ton of value. Make sure to rewatch this. And remember, applied knowledge is power. Knowledge is in power. You need to take one thing and implement it. Don't just take all the things that we talked about and try and go do all these things. There is such thing as paralysis by analysis. So whatever the biggest needle mover that you can put all of your energy into, focus on accomplishing that consistently, then move on to the next thing. Maybe it's like a schedule. Maybe it's having a better morning routine. Maybe it's like getting to sleep on time so you can get a better sleep and wake up more energized and like regulate your hormones and like get like a solid evening routine in place. Maybe it's like getting clear on your why so you can create that motivation when it's not there to create more consistency. And like rewatch this if you need to. Go through this again. Like I would and like send me a message if you need any help like around this stuff. I can send you other resources, other trainings that might be more relevant that could help you as well and move in the right direction. But yeah, let's crush some goals. I'll talk to you guys soon. Hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day.